Stampers, and welcome to Laura's Stamp Pad. In honor of Stampin' Up's promotion with the Big Shot, I thought I would show you some fabulous ways to use your Big Shot. This month, the whole month of August, Stampin' Up is offering this special where when you purchase the Big Shot, which you also get the 2 plates and the multi-purpose platform, you will get a bundle, which includes stamp set and a matching framelit, so you don't have to do any fussy cutting, for free. That is a super fabulous deal. It's a $60 value, so be sure to get that before the end of August. If you already own the Big Shot, you can always get the bundle at 15% off. So be sure to check that out on my blog. I'll put a link below at laurastamppad.com. I'm going to show you how to use some of your embossing folders today. Embossing is one of my favorite things when it comes to my Big Shot because it just adds a little texture, a little dimension, and it really takes a project from simple to wow so quickly with just the crank of the handle. Look at this fabulous card here. I used one of the new embossing folders, which is coming out in the holiday mini catalog on August 28th. This is the Lucky Stars embossing folder, and you're wondering why there's no texture in embossing. That's because what I did was I inked up the embossing folder and got that fabulous background image using it. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. This one, of course, there's no embossing done yet, but I'm going to show you how you can just do embossing over your entire card and get a fabulous look. So let's get started. First, I'm going to take this card, which is just a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and it's a half sheet, 4 1/4 by 11, folded in half, and I used Blackberry Bliss and Mossy Meadow, which are 2 of the new in colors, which I super love, and made this amazing flower with my Work of Art stamp set. I just used the little simple image and went all the way around, and I stamped and then stamped again to get that various shades of color. So I didn't actually use more than 1 shade of ink pad, I just stamped multiple times. So I created my entire masterpiece here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up and I'm going to lay it in my embossing folder. This is the Decorative Dots embossing folder, and I'm just gonna slide it in there, and then let's pull in our Big Shot. So here we have our Big Shot. I have my multi-purpose platform here, and tab 2 has been opened. So I'm going to lay one of my little clear sheets down, lay this on top, make my sandwich here. Make sure I have that lined up perfectly so it embosses evenly. And I'm just going to crank it through. Don't worry about any of the pops and cracks. That is normal and it's supposed to happen, so you're not breaking it, so don't worry there. Now look at that. Isn't that amazing how it just now has that texture all over and still your same image there? So super simple, no adhesive required, just a little stamping and running it through for that little added texture. How amazing is that? Love it. Okay, now I'm going to show you the stars. So let's move this back out of the way for just a moment. And this is the Lucky Stars embossing folder. I don't know how well you can see that. You can see the stars a little bit where my hand is. So they're just little cute stars that are placed all over. I'm going to open this up. Now this side has the stars down under. They're like debossed. This one has all of the stars all bumped up. So each of the little stars are all bumped up and everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crushed curry ink pad and I'm just going to lightly lay the ink pad all over. And you're starting to see, now you can actually see where those stars are, can't you? So I'm just tapping lightly. If you tap too hard, you'll end up going into all of this extra area and it won't hit just the stars. So you can see there, I don't know if my hand helps or not, but you can see how all of the stars are inked up. I do have a little bit of ink right there. You can either try to remove that with a Q-tip or your finger or a Kleenex, or you can leave it there and it'll just give a little rustic look. So now I'm going to take my piece of cardstock and lay it down. This is 3 3/4 by 5. So I've smashed it in there. Let's move the ink pad before we bring in the Big Shot again. And again, I'm just going to lay this with tab 2 open and put my clear plates on the top and bottom to create the sandwich. and run it through the Big Shot. And there's two ways you can do this. You can either run it through the Big Shot to get that little extra texture in there, or you can just press on it and get just the image without the actual texture. So now I'm gonna open this up, and you can see how you have that fabulous, these stars are actually debossed, because here's the embossed image, but here is the reverse image of it. You can see that there. Now you do have these little spots, but that just kind of gives it a little bit of a rustic look. If you don't like it, but end up with that on your project, you can always add your ribbon right there or another image. There's always some of my best projects come from something that I once thought was a mistake. So don't worry about that. You can still use it, or if you don't like it at all, you can always flip it over and you have a perfectly white embossed with stars piece of cardstock. So let's bring back in that sample. With my, oh, it's upside down. With my sample, I actually just pressed it. I didn't emboss it. So you can see that the flower, or the stars don't actually come solid. You know, they're just a little rusticy looking with just a little bit of ink on there. So they don't come out perfect, but I do love that little light starry look, because of course when we look up into the sky, we kind of just see little dots of stars. We don't actually see the 5 points or however many points you think it is. I added this. This piece here was layered onto Daffodil Delight, and then some Night of Navy cardstock. I took my Night of Navy marker and actually colored my organza white ribbon. So be sure to check out my video on coloring ribbon. I'll leave a link down below for that. And then for the greeting here, I used my Petite Pears, which has these fabulous little greetings. You can either stamp one on the outside and one on the inside, or you can stamp them both here. And then my Itty Bitty Punch Pack did the little stars that match there. You could always add those with some dimensionals all over your card for a little extra dimension and pop. I layered all of this on the decorative label punch here, and then added one in the back as well, just for a little extra texture there. So those are two fabulous little samples using my embossing folder. Of course, I just want to show you, here's another one. I did the little polka dots on the background of that. I also used my Labels Collection framelit to cut out this as well. For a tutorial on the Northern Lights technique, I will put a link down below for that so you can see that. Here's another little one that I just used the decorative dots for a little extra texture on that little strip here. And then I want to show you this one. So look at this fabulous card using the Blended Bloom and my Rich Razzleberry blendability markers. Super cute, lots of color, lots of texture with the various shades there. But let me show you another one. Look how much more this one seems to pop. And look how much more of a wow factor this one has. Now maybe it's because it's in Bermuda Bay rather than Rich Razzleberry, but I love both colors equally, so it's okay there. But look how that chevron folder really makes that card stand out so much more. And that's what I'm talking about with my embossing folders. Love them. Here's another fabulous one using the Baroque image and the Big News stamp set. Love that little Tiffany's look there. So be sure to check out my blog at laurastamppad.com, and thank you for watching. Be sure to give it a thumbs up too down below, and I'll see you next time. Happy stamping!